Yo, mama mo akwa abashrenko so ediaba POG Media so Mistress Safi and I say wabajumedian so subscribe like it to Jumedian share them afofro and so answer and can be kindly click on the notification bell no so send the any news be to platform so also who dear air call and the by young queen some near fans some do no and the embroider ye bo and the era a J.Huges a asway na audience be ababa betuja efa eye Ahmed eye Suale nsensem na ye nim se enche bia na eye AJ wa like wayi eye Ahmed Suale nsem no e de afri eye court ye beko na yakwa koti eye nsem a esi ya anasensem a eye J.Huges e de tuja.
Now, having spoken to you about Rosebank, let's talk about, yesterday I introduced you to a book, The Bogus Informant, by the legendary KB Quanson, former director of NACOC or NACOB as it was then. He set it up. He's the former commissioner of police, former head of the BNI, former national security coordinator, and many other things. He's a security man. Now, he said something in 2003 that struck a chord yesterday as I read one of his books. He says, national security. The country is divided, regrettably. Society is polarized, very unfortunately. Our politics has increasingly become acrimonious, negative, and therefore unproductive. Over the years, our approach to national issues has been riddled with and undermined by blind political fanaticism and cheap tribal chauvinism. The pursuit of stomach politics has promoted a dark culture of sycophancy and opportunism. Decency, integrity, and honesty are drying up. Some of us would say anything, support anything, and do anything so long as that will reap us personal dividends. It really would not matter how ridiculous, how bizarre, and how senseless that position is. The national interest has been brutalized by these negative tendencies. I take it again. The country is divided, regrettably. Society is polarized, very unfortunately. Our politics has increasingly become acrimonious, negative, and therefore unproductive. Over the years, your approach to national issues has been riddled with and undermined by blind political fanaticism and cheap tribal chauvinism. The pursuit of stomach politics has promoted a dark culture of sycophancy and opportunism. Decency, integrity, and honesty are drying up. Some of us would say anything, support anything, and do anything so long as that will reap us personal dividends. It really would not matter how ridiculous, how bizarre, and how senseless that position is. The national interest has been brutalized by these negative tendencies. I want to relate it to the death of my late colleague Ahmed Hussein Suale, investigative journalist who worked with Tiger IP, and yesterday I learned with a lot of shock and pain that the Medina District Court has discharged lead suspect in the alleged killing of Ahmed Suale after Attorney General discontinued the case. The question we want to ask the Attorney General this morning is why? We were in this country when Ahmed Suale and his boss Anas Aremeya Anas, and now OSP, who was his lawyer for Anas Aremeya Anas, and all the people who worked with them, doing some great work, exposing a lot of rot in this country. Rot that you and I did not know about. Rot that the BBC thought that the talent of put Suale's picture there. Don't put my face there. I'm not Suale. Rot that you would never have known about. Rot that even the BBC thought it was necessary to collaborate with Anas Aremeya Anas to go around the African continent and many other places to go and bring you exposés, all in furtherance of our development as a people. To be in the know, right? So that we'll be in the know. Then we had a sitting member of parliament who later became the chairman of the Defense Committee in Parliament. He sat on national television and asked the public to beat Ahmed Suale anytime they saw him. Not long after, he died. He was shot, even under witness protection, under the direction of the Ghana Police Service and under the court. He died. Today, we are told that the lead suspect in the alleged killing of Ahmed Suale has been, let go because the Attorney General discontinued the case. We'll read the response of the Attorney General. But can somebody remind me at any point when that MP who now wants to become president, was he ever invited by the police to come and answer questions regarding Ahmed Suale's death? Was he ever invited as a person of interest or whatever it is that the lawyers call it to come and answer just a few questions? He wants to lead us. I have nothing against him personally, but he wants to lead us. And leadership is cause, all else is effect. Was he ever invited, or were the police afraid of him? Never mind that he was in court insulting a judge in open court. Never mind. That one, I don't want to talk about it. I'm talking about my colleague. World Press Freedom Index. We had people, and see what I read from the legendary KB Kwansing is what people defended when we were dropping on the World Press Freedom Index. We had people in suit and tie, educated people who had practiced as journalists in this country before, defending rubbish. They were defending rubbish because of politicization and polarization and all the things that the great KB Kwansing spoke about. We have polarized the nation. So somebody's father, somebody's breadwinner, somebody's son, somebody's uncle, he's dead. He's been killed like a chicken. And you have people who defend it as if his life doesn't matter. People are being picked up left, right, center for making utterances way less than what was made. Who invited who? We were in this country where my good friend A+ said, look, he can tell us how these murders happened. He went to the police. What happened after that? He went to give information freely. What happened after that? Bring me the Attorney General's response. Let's read it together, just to be fair. The call records placed the accused person's phone in the vicinity where the deceased was killed. However, the presence of the accused in the vicinity based on his phone's location alone is not sufficient to charge him with the murder of the deceased. Though it is stated in the police report dated 30th April 2025 that the accused was in the vicinity of the deceased on the day of the killing to monitor his movement, that remains an inference until further evidence is discovered. Additionally, none of the sketches of the assailants generated by the police based on the vivid descriptions of eyewitnesses resembled the accused person. Neither has the investigation established that the accused was one of the assailants who shot the deceased. Neither has the investigation established that the accused was the one of the assailants who shot the deceased, although the accused person could be an abettor. There must be adequate evidence to show that he was in the vicinity to abet the murder of the deceased. The evidence presented to this office is, therefore, not sufficient to charge the accused person with abetment to murder and murder. This is the Attorney General. This is what they took to court based on what the police had given to him. So Ahmed Suale, come to me. Ahmed Suale goes to add on to JB Danko Addo, whose death has not been fixed. Goes on to add to Hayford Kwanzaa, whose death has not been identified. Reverend Nabemado Openya Jekum, Openya Dade, and many, there's a plethora, Roger Kumsik, plethora of them, cold cases. But I tell you that I have lived in this country. When Kweku Ninja and Tola were killed in Ablekuma, policemen were killed in Ablekuma and buried underwater, our police, they found them. The 3 Takrady girls who were killed and kept in a manhole were found. If the police wants to find, they will find. More so when he was under witness protection. Does it put the life of journalists at risk? Yes. I want to hear my GJ, not that we condemn, and certain things, blah, 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 toothlessness. No. I actually want to hear real stuff. Because this will become a threat to investigative journalism. It will be. I put Ahmed Suale's photo there again. And I'm asking the police. Somebody sat on national TV, showed Ahmed Suale's photo, and invited the public to beat him wherever they saw him. Put this photo there. Somebody sat on national TV. A member of parliament who demands to be called honorable, who now wants to lead us as president. He sat on national TV and instructed the public to be, he will pay. I've had my own share of whatever it is from him. But it's not about me. Did the police ever have the gonads of steel? Because if I did that here now, and said, wherever you see Kuzo Tiani, I put his picture, wherever you see him, catch him, beat him, I'll pay. The police will come for me in 2 seconds. Did the police have the balls? Let me not use gonads of steel so it sounds, did they have the balls to invite him just for a second? To say, oh, come, honorable, come. This thing that you said, this person is under witness protection. Come, let's have a did the police think about it? Did they try? They should come and tell us. Did they try? Did they try? If they tried, what happened? Did they update us? And why did that not find presence then? Why was the person was not in court as a witness? This pick and choose thing, and I've been giving the police their flowers lately, but this has infuriated me so much. It has infuriated me so much. So we now live in an animal farm where some are more equal than some, or what? Go back to KB Kwansin thing. Then we'll read the court document. It says the country is divided. Listen carefully. Now put it in context. Regrettably, society is polarized, very unfortunately. Our politics has increasingly become acrimonious, negative, and therefore unproductive. Over the years, our approach to national issues has been riddled with and undermined by blind political fanaticism and cheap tribal chauvinism. You see why some are calling for the leadership of the police not to be chosen by political leadership, but for us to have an independent commission that will then determine who leads the police. Because if you are appointed by political leadership, same things that Dr. Ben Agojo said, his promotion was delayed, he was kicked out of the police, he was literally humiliated because he made this point. Today, his glory has been given to him belatedly. But we know in this country that the political class have a hold. And if you're a security person and the political class is 10 left, about 10, right 10, left 10, keep still, show dead arms, present arms, or dead arms, then you are doing it like some zombie. You become like a zombie. Unfortunately, there are many who will not cave in, but many people cave in. Many security people cave in. To the point where you have a corporal telling a chief superintendent that enya na only me ba service ni only me ba and also me jina anti me jina. The impudence and disrespect. My father says, if you don't respect the man, respect the rank and the uniform. Corporal to chief superintendent. He knows that it is being videoed. He didn't care less. That is how we have reduced it to. Take me back. The pursuit of stomach politics has promoted a dark culture of sycophancy and opportunism. Decency, integrity, and honesty are drying up. Some of us would say anything, support anything, and do anything so long as that will reap us personal dividends. It really would not matter how ridiculous, how bizarre, and how senseless that position is. The national interest has been brutalized by these negative tendencies. KB Kwansin, 2003. Find me the DVLA's document, please. The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority announces
J.Huges Jumadie no Edema subscribe like to Jumadie and share them out for friends and can be kindly click on the notification bell so send a bear. Yet the any news be out to platform no so I want so Uber the airco and the air but from you know yeah twice no J.Huges at once were adding some dodona there to your dive into a corruption and coso a Ghana afenenya and court in Konkoti.
To the general public that effective tomorrow, October 15, that's today, 2025, all activities of the compliance team in relation to fines on our roads are suspended till further notice. The compliance enforcement exercise, which was intensified and carried out on our roads to promote regulatory compliance, was aimed at ensuring that vehicles and drivers adhere to legal requirements to be on our roads. However, the authority, upon further consultation and feedback from the public, announces the suspension of this activity in order to allow for an extended engagement on the matter before reintroducing the compliance team on our roads. Although committed to ensuring safety on our roads, we equally appreciate the fact that the general public must be adequately educated to fully appreciate the responsibilities unapproved conduct on our roads can come with. The general public is specifically informed that this exercise is in relation to the fees and charges that were being enforced by the compliance team. This press release does not in any way suspend the legal requirements for drivers and vehicles to use our roads. Thank you, DVLA. DVLA, good morning to you, Mr. Nikwe. Logas, you should have done this public education before you rolled out this compliance. That's the first one. Number two, those whose monies have been collected, would they be refunded? Number three, you are asking us to be good citizens, to have the legal requirements and everything to be on the roads. Have you seen the roads? Have you seen the potholes? Have you seen the absence of traffic lights? Have you seen the absence of street lights? Have you seen the absence of road markings? Have you seen all the things that are going on? I agree with you if you want to arrest the aboboyas and some of the rickety trotters and some of the reckless drivers. I agree with you. Because some of them drive as if they are headless chickens. Some of the motor riders, oh man, too bad. They ride anyhow. Some of the trotters don't also have traffic indicators. They want to turn left and they stretch out their hand. Whether you are ready or not, they are moving out. They don't care, whatever happens. So if you want to arrest those people, fine. But there are also those who have done everything, ticked every box. And the roads are messing up their vehicles. How are you taking care of those people? It's a question that you must answer. Take me to fire service, please, quickly. We'll end with the court document. Show me the letter, please, from the Ghana National Fire Service. I want to read the letter that yesterday came. Quickly, Kuzo. I want to read the letter that came yesterday. And yesterday I read a letter from the Ghana National Fire Service for you, demanding that recruits and officer cadets and even those in service pay a certain amount. Now, this is the letter. It's dated the 9th of October to all regional fire officers. It says, due to funding challenges, recruits, cadets, and existing personnel who went for training were made to pay something to subsidize their feeding costs for the period of their training. The attached list of personnel are officer cadets and other ranks who still owe feeding fees. They owe feeding fees. It's not school feeding program, by the way. The list has been grouped into two categories. Appendix A contains the list of personnel who still owe but will be deducted from their accounts directly by their various banks. And B contains the list of personnel who to make cash payments for the amount owed. Payment can be made at the salaries office headquarters or directly paid into the service account below. It's stated there. Now, find me the prospectus. There are two prospectus, one for the officer cadet and one for the one for enlistment, one for recruitment, one for the other ranks. Now, yesterday I spent time perusing the prospectus of the Ghana National Fire Service. If you want to go and serve, this is for officer cadet. It talks about a pair of this white t-shirts. I mean, regular things that they would demand of the three or more. A pair of plain white socks, three or more. A pair of black socks. Put the document up there, please. pair of plain white sneakers or kambu. 2, metal bucket, size 32. It lists all these things. Find me the recruits one as well. It said nowhere in this document about feeding fee. It didn't say anything. This is the prospectus also for the other ranks, right? And we don't have too much time, so I can't go through it. But a large size black kiwi shoe polish and a brush, pair of black shoe for church service, pair of soup bowl and flat plate. Put the document up. Pair of soup bowl and black plate. And then cutlery sets, blanket, white plain singlet, and suitcase, and then a white pillowcase, all of those ones. Now, show me the legislative instrument. Put the legislative instrument out. The legislative instrument that guides the Ghana National Fire Service. LI 2415. LI 2415. Now go up. I want to read the portion that talks about training and feeding. Thank you. Section 31. Recruitment and enlistment into the service. It says a person is eligible for recruitment and enlistment into the service if that person A, is a citizen, B, possesses the requisite qualifications determined by the scheme of service, C, has been convicted of has not been convicted of an offense involving moral turpitude, honesty, or fraud, and D, has not been dismissed from any other employment. A person eligible for recruitment or enlistment into the service shall be required to pass a pre-recruitment and pre-enlistment medical examination. 3, a recruit or an enlisted personnel or person is entitled to the following without cost to that recruit or enlisted person during the period of training. Listen, 3. It says, section 31(3). It says, a recruit or an enlisted person is entitled to the following without cost to that recruit or enlisted person during the period of training. A, accommodation. B, medical care. C, meals, that is food, feeding. Now, I want to ask the Ghana National Fire Service, which law is enabling them to be asking either recruits or officer cadets to be paying something small for feeding? Because I know that there has to be financial clearance before they begin the training. And that's why yesterday I called on the Interior Minister that there are questions to be asked. And the answers must be provided. It is not fair that people buy their forms, they go through their own medical test and whatever it is before they come to you. They buy all the things that I've stated here in their prospectus. And when they finish, they come to you, tell them that they have to pay to feed themselves. I don't get it. Was it the government that told you? Shadrach, hold on for me, please. Was it the government that told you that they don't have money? Was it the government that mentioned that? Look, find me that court document. Let's wrap up with the court document. Shadrach, give me 2 minutes, please. Go up to the facts of the case. This is relative to the National Service Scheme. Now, this is relative to the former boss, the executive director of the National Service Scheme, Mr. Osesibe Ntwi. Go up. Let's quickly read this and go away. Now, we're talking about how much. Yesterday, we mentioned some 38 million, yeah? Now, today we are mentioning, 38 million. Now, count 14. Causing financial loss contrary to section 179A of the Criminal Offences Act 1960. Particulars of offence. Osesibe Ntwi, former executive director, NSA, on or about 14th of May 2024, willfully caused financial loss of 22 million Ghana cedis belonging to the National Service Authority by authorizing the withdrawal of the said amount from the project account number 101-863-154-2212 for the Kumewu Farm project without expending on the project. There's a portion on ghost names. I'm interested. So these monies were withdrawn. It was for the Kumewu Farm project, but the monies were not used for the project. Where is the money? That's what the Attorney General is finding. Now, It says that stealing and contrary to section 124(1) of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, statement of offence. It says Osesibe Entry, former executive director of the NSA, on or about 11th of September 2023, in the Greater Accra region, dishonestly appropriated the sum of 516,000 Ghana cedis belonging to the National Service Authority. There's count 4. Stealing contrary to section 124, still 1960, Act 29. Osesibe Entry, former executive director of the NSA, on or about 26th of October 2023 in the Greater Accra region, directly, dishonestly appropriated. We've read this already, Kuzo. I want to see the ghost names portion, Kuzo. There's a 60,000 ghost names list that the Attorney General says that Mr. Osesibe Entry actually engaged in. And that cost us how much? If every national service person was even getting, 500,000, 500 cedis times 60,000 ghost names, that's a whopping one. And you ask yourself, is Ghana really broke? Is Ghana really broke? Yesterday, somebody was asking me to ask my ADB bank, my own ADB bank, where I keep my small coins that I'm paid. Said I should ask them how was the loan acquired and how is the loan being paid back, for example. He asked me to ask, how is the loan being paid back? And what method did they use? And the quality assurance team at ADB, what levels of work did they do? If they could beat Gibbs and the machine and the software, really? Now listen. Osesibe Entry, former executive director, NSA, between August 2021 and February 2025, willfully caused financial loss of 500,861,744 Ghana cedis and 2 pesos. 500,861,744 Ghana cedis and 2 pesos belonging to the National Service Authority by authorizing payments of allowances to in excess of 60,000 non-existent ghost national service personnel. We spent money to launch a software. We bragged about it. It was left by Dr. Digital. He told us that the software was going to be able to help us to stop ghost names generation. Now the Attorney General is telling us that the software was the same thing that was used to generate the ghost names. 60,000 ghost names for one person. His deputy got about 10,000 ghost names, 9,934 ghost names. So these ghosts, do they come from Awudome? Or do they come from Osu Cemetery? Or do they come from Gethsemane? Or where do they come from? Or they return into this world when they leave? Here's my sermon. Please call me.
You are any other yedi age medino EBC at the amount subscribe like it to Jumedino share the mouth for and so answer in can kindly click on the notification bell no so send be the any news be at platform so also work no the air co any the but some no ya woni ve ya do na be the ebebram makram.